Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. How are you? I hope you are happy and healthy doing the things you love, especially on a Tuesday when we might just get doble bombastas. It is muchos gudos over in the world of Tottenham Hotspur. I don't know why I've got into Spanish. There's nothing Spanish at all about any of these news plays. We got a Dutchman and we might have an Italian, but I've decided to go Spanish.
Why not?
What are we doing here? How's everybody doing? I'm here with the wonderful Kate and Jimbo from Kate and Jimbo. How's everyone doing, guys? Please do smash the granny out of the like button for me. We've got bombers. We have fun. We've got all sorts of tweets to go through today. It is a good day to be a Tottenham fan. As Jan-Paul van Hekke, it's agreement reached. It's done. The Here We Go is out. He is joining us, which probably means Romero's out. Do we care? We'll find out how these guys think about it in just a second. You know how I feel. But maybe more importantly, as soon as that one's done, Romero comes out with a separate bomber, which is that Tottenham Hotspur have entered discussions for essentially £100 million package for Sandro Tonali. He wants to come. He's apparently agreed terms with the football club. We're going to go through it all. Apparently, like any of these rumors that he was just using Tottenham to push up the price elsewhere, well, a lot of that stuff apparently isn't true. It's a fascinating end to what has been a busy Tuesday for me personally. How's everybody doing? Please like the subscribe, like button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and drop some comments thick and fast. Let me know your thoughts before I come and find out how Kate and Jimbo are doing. It's the last chance you get, right? It's the 16th. It's 8:30 at night on the 16th. In the next 24 hours is the last chance you guys get to get 15% off of all of your clobber, your future clobber, your past clobber, your present clobber, your Jeremy Jacquets, your international clobber. Although I don't know if you really want the international clobber now, because by the time it arrives, the World Cup will be done. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's up to you. I don't care. I don't care what you spend your money on. But if you're going to spend it on football clobber, probably spend it tonight or tomorrow morning at OK Jersey, where you can get 15% off using code Sean15 at checkout. Big up to them for the sponsorship. We are, of course, also available, guys, also available on all of your podcast platforms. So you can watch us back on Spotify. You can listen to us back on all the others. If that's your jam, give us a rating, a follow, and a review. I'm talking at 100 miles an hour. If you can't catch up with my speed, then listen faster. People, listen faster. Kate, Jimbo, how are you? Good to see you. How you doing?
Good. Excited. It's all happening in the world of Spurs. I don't know what's going on. I keep pinching myself thinking I'm going to wake up in a minute and it'll be a dream. But yeah, it all looks good so far.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Sean. I'm a bit in shock, if you want to know the truth, the way Spurs are acting. But I like it.
I like it.
I know. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Is that the right word? Is that the right word?
I don't know what song you're singing, but I
make it up as I go along, if I'm entirely honest. This is what we do here. An absolute bomber. Let's find out how the chat is doing. Welcome to the few people in this. Let's find out. Who was the first one in? Tony White, big up to Tony, big up Shawnee, big up to you, Bo. James is saying, yes, he say, hey. Is it the De Zerbi Pool? Is it the De Zerbi Pool factor? This club is a better club for me. You give me what I want, and we get a good players. We got to talk about something. I slipped into South African there at the end. I don't know what was going on. Mark Woodland saying, Sean, hopping on and off YouTube like mad. Too much going on right now. It's insane. I love it, though. Finally acting like a big club. Well, we'll find out. Early doors, early days. Swoop Spurs says we sell Vuskovic after three great loans. I will stop watching till Enix gone. Should we get the bad news out of the way first, or the confusing story out of the way first, shall we? Because Van Hecke's done. I'm gonna get it up on the screen as you guys are talking. But the Vuskovic story looks like there's merit to it. Like that the owners at Tottenham have given them some reason, some rationale. Jimbo, I'll start with you to believe that Vuskovic is plausible. Second bid, 35 million quid denied. How do you interpret all of this stuff? Is it just Tottenham maybe trying to play a bit of poker, saying first thing is first, let's get this one done, and yes, we'll engage on Vuskovic, but don't really intend to? Or do you think that they actually are willing to let this guy go?
I think they'll probably let him go, Sean. But I mean, look, I said this the other day on our channel. He's not really pulled up any trees, is he? He's playing in Kate. He hasn't. He's playing in Hamburg. right? The Premier League's a completely different ball game. So we'll have to see what happens. But look, until all right, Johnny.
I'm okay. All good. All good. And UK and obviously Sean.
Johnny boy.
Until he does it in the Premier League, what is he worth?
Well, what I would say is if the boot was on the other foot, right, to push back a little bit. I hear what you're saying. When you say he hasn't pulled up any trees, I guess what you're saying, he hasn't proven himself yet.
Yeah.
Right? I guess your point. My argument would just be if the boot was on the other foot, if Vuskovic was someone that was in the Brighton ecosystem, Tony Bloom wouldn't be letting this geezer go for 35, 40 million.
Oh, I agree with that.
You know, remember what he did with Evan Ferguson, right? The guy had half a good season, and then they wanted 100 million for him. But he's got history of doing well with it. So I'm not necessarily like married to the idea of Vuskovic staying, but I certainly don't want to see him go out on loan. Go out to Brighton or anywhere else for anything that starts with a 3 or a 4. I'd like to see, like, if it's going to be around that number, for me, it should have like a 25%, 30% sell-on fee, something that makes it worth your while. What's your stance there, Jim?
Yeah, I agree. I said to Kate earlier, they need to put a good selling on fee there. But look, I won't lose any sleep if he goes. I don't know about you guys, but he's another young player. Is he going to do it? It's a 50-50 for me. I mean, he looked good when he played for us that one game. He looked all right. But to start worrying about keeping players like that, for me, it don't work. If he wants to go, let him go. But
that's interesting. I wasn't expecting you to say that, Jimbo. Kate, let me bring you in. Johnny, I'll bring you in third because we were actually at that range, the QPR Reading game, wasn't it, together? But Kate, let me ask you, because I think Jimbo does make an interesting point there at the end. It's interesting take entirely, by the way. Like, if we don't know what we don't know, but he does come across to me like a player that doesn't really feel like he's attached to Tottenham. I've said that for years. I just feel like he's a player owned by Tottenham, but doesn't want to be at Tottenham. What's your take, Kate?
Yeah, I agree. I don't agree with Jim in the fact that he hasn't pulled up any.
You never do, darling.
No, I very rarely agree with you, darling. But I think he's made such a massive impact over there, and so many people from other teams, fans from other teams have said, God, I'd love to have him. He looks like he is going to be a superstar. However, he's got a lot to say, him and his agent. 1 minute he doesn't want to play for Spurs. He wants another year in Hamburg to play with his brother. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to go to Brighton for first team minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that this guy has got the best attitude, if I'm perfectly honest. And I'm wondering if De Zerbi has kind of seen that he may be a bit of a dickhead and doesn't particularly buy into that. I also agree, if we are going to sell him, we've got to get at least 55 upwards, because he's contracted to Tottenham till 2030. And the ceiling for this guy is really high. In an ideal world, I'd like to loan him for a year to Brighton, let them develop him, no obligation or option to buy and bring him back. But whether Brighton would agree to that, I don't know. I'm kind of, if people don't want to play for the club, I don't want them at the club, but I don't want us to get shafted with the price. We've got to, have a set good price to sell him, and we've also got to have some sort of sell-on clause or buyback clause or whatever. But I've just got a feeling that this guy has got an attitude problem. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. I just get that feeling.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that. Johnny, welcome to the show, mate. Obviously, I know we're all watching France-Senegal on the TV behind us or next to us or whatever, so we can all. I won't be offended if everyone's sort of glancing over, see what's going on. It's all absolutely fine. Big game of football, but we had to speak tonight about this one, Johnny. Before we get to the big news around Van Hecke and Tonali, first of all, I love your background drop, mate. It looks absolutely sensational. I'm not sure whether to watch you or read you with all that writing in there. Like a bloody good book. How are you, mate? Good to see you. And what's your take on the? We started with Vuskovic because we just picked one to go with first. What's your stance there, mate?
Listen, look. I love Paratici. I know a lot of people maybe didn't, but when you see what's happened since he's left and the shit show that's gone on now, maybe you should appreciate him. The things he did. because when all said and done, you know, the players that we're going to be selling for money are ones that he bought in. And Vuskovic, you know, there was a lot of eyebrows raised when we paid 12 million for him. The record amount, well, plus add-ons for a 16-year-old centre-back, record amount. Went to Belgium and did very well, scored some great goals. I don't know if anyone's seen the goal that Vuskovic scored before he went out to Belgium when he was playing in Croatia. An unbelievable goal, like a rasping goal. And then he went to Belgium and he thought, yeah, it's great. A lot of people play down Belgian football. What I do know is that a lot of players that have come from Belgian football seem to do extremely well in the Premier League for some unknown reason, much more so than what they do from Holland.
It's a faster league. It's a faster league than most other leagues in Europe.
More physical. I think a bit physical, you know, without being, you know, there's a lot of Belgium, Congolese. There's a lot of big units in the Belgium league. And I thought, well, let's see how he does in Germany, right? It's very, you know, it's one league. But what he's done at Hamburg is quite remarkable, to be truthful with you. I don't even think the Hamburg fans who you know, absolutely idolised his brother were quite ready for what the impact that he's had. He's had man of the match performances. He scored some fantastic goals. I think one of them was goal of the season, the little back flick that he did for the goal. Great in the air. There was a game against Harry Kane and Bayern Munich where he was absolutely outstanding, did a really good job on Harry. Be interesting to see. I think he's played 4 of the last 5 games for Croatia.
I can't wait to see if he plays on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think he
tomorrow,
will.
Isn't it? Tomorrow, shit. Yeah.
So I think Vuskovic will play because he's played up against Harry. Look, the kid's 19 years of age. When we look at our academy, is there anyone in our academy at 19 years of age that's even anywhere near the level of Vuskovic? And the answer is no.
I think maybe you could make a little small shout for Mathys Tel when he first turned up, you know, but that's maybe
no,
my
I'm
bias
talking
on that
about
one.
I'm talking about the impact he's had and what he's created. And you know, the noise in Germany, some of the articles I've been reading, you know, like Bayern Munich are interested, lots of big clubs are interested. But I do take your point, Sean, that he doesn't have this sort of Tottenham DNA because he's never experienced the club. But I will give you a make weight to that. I wanted us to sign William Saliba when he was in France. I'd been given the heads up of how good he was, and I was gutted. We were in for him and we ended up signing someone else. Can't remember, was it Poutner? Can't remember who it was at the top of my head. But anyway, my point here is that there were lots of rumours that he would never, ever make it at Arsenal. He would never get to the club. He had 3 loans, 3 separate loans. And then when he came back, there was question marks whether he'd end up going out. But he got integrated into the club. And we now know that William Saliba, you know, standing there is one of the best defenders in Europe. And I think we have to be mindful of the fact that the kid's 19 as a centre-back. Most centre-backs don't mature till they're, you know, 21 and fully mature till they're like 26 years of age, just, you know, around the age of Van Hecker is. But so to be putting in these performances that he's been putting in Europe, I think people are playing down his true worth. And I think it's absolutely insulting.
What would you do then, mate? So in terms of like...
It's got to go on another loan, mate, but a quality loan.
If you're Tottenham, I guess this is the question.
Yeah,
right. But it looks like in order to get the Van Hecker deal done, there's obviously been some conversation around Vuskovic. Do you think that Tottenham have the? I'll preface this by saying we all know how we all feel. Everyone feels the same about Johan Lang. Everyone feels the same about, you know, ENIC generally 2.0. Like, talk is cheap. Show us. Thus far, this window, it's been pretty impressive in terms of moving things forward quickly and getting some good players in. And I don't necessarily give Johan Lang or whoever it is that's negotiating the credit for being able to play poker with Tony Bloom. But I'm just wondering whether or not one of the mechanisms to move the Van Hekke deal along was to sort of say, yeah. Look, okay, we'll in good faith we'll talk and discuss a Vuskovic deal, but let's get first thing out of the way first. Let's get the Van Hekke deal done, and we'll do that one separately as a bit of gamesmanship to get this one done, and then ultimately then to turn around and go, no. Vuskovic is 60 million at minimum plus a sell-on fee.
It's madness, Sean. It's madness.
Do we have the people in charge of those negotiations to have that level of gumption to be able to sort of play Bloom at his own game? Because you know that if the boot was on the other foot, Vuskovic wouldn't be going for anything less than 80 million, right?
Yeah, Rafi Mortensen, right, I think might come in and, put some perspective on this. Look, let's be honest, right? Paul Barber and Tony Bloom done one on the club, right? Look, I'm happy we got Van Hekke done, but let's make no bones about it. The kid cost £2 million, right? He's got a year left on his contract. We pay £52 million. It's only the profit that's making this deal expensive, right? And we have paid exactly, well, it depends what angle do you want to look at, right? I see people saying we pay too much, but at the same time, you got to back the manager. So
well, hang on, how much did City pay for Gahey with 6 months left?
Not that, is it?
I think it was 30 odd, wasn't it?
30 odd million, I think.
Yeah, 35, I think.
Was it?
Yeah. Something like that,
But Parish wanted 80, 90 million. He turned us down 70 million in January of last season with 18 months left on his contract, right?
Yeah, but look, what I'm trying to say here is that
it was £30 million.
Look, we want to back De Zerbi, but I believe as much as we need to give De Zerbi what he wants, I actually think you have to have it tempered at the other side of the desk, Sean. You need to have someone at the other side of the desk who knows what he's doing and says, look, Roberto, mate, I know you want this guy, right? But come on, there are other defenders, there are other midfielders who can tick box A, B, C, D, and E. Tonali only ticks box A, B, and C, and he's like 90 million, right? No one's arguing with De Zerbi, right? The only person sat at the other end of the desk that has any clue on football, and that's pushing it, is Johan Lang. He's the only one that's going to be pushing back.
Well, I want to talk about him in a little while because I do feel like thus far this summer, he's on his last warning, maybe. The fans wanted him out, but if we get a few of these players over the line that we're linked with, and we're linked with a lot of them early doors, then maybe we need to kind of just, say credit where it's due. Like you got a lot of making up to do, Johan, but we got away with it. Johnny, as you said in February, March, when Stel was doing the whole, relegation's the best thing for us, and you were saying, no, the best outcome here is that we stay up by the skin of our teeth.
Near fatal crash. Yeah, near fatal car crash.
Near fatal crash, but not fatal. Yeah. And look, we started well. Listen, I want to move away from Vuskovic just to round it off though quickly, because I'm not going to be here forever tonight talking because there's a lot of things going on. But I just want to ask you guys. So right now, you're all in the same boat that we don't negotiate with Brighton on a permanent sale unless there's some massive sell-on percentage included. Is that what you
can have a loan? Have a loan. You want to have a loan? By all means, have them on loan.
You've also got to remember he's at the World Cup. He could have the game, he could be player of the World Cup, and then his value goes up double, treble. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy to even think about it in a minute.
Yeah, I completely agree. Jimbo, concur?
Well,
look, I'd like to see him stay at Spurs and work under Senesi, Van der Ven, Van Heck, and learn his trade with them. He's going to get game time, I'm sure. But look. But I'm of the opinion what I think it was Johnny just said it, that I don't think he really wants to be here. I don't think he wants to be at Tottenham. I think he wants to go. So I would put either a big fee on him with a sell-on clause or loan him out.
Yeah,
100%. We don't want players here that don't want to be here. I hate it when players are here and they don't want to be here.
Well, this is the thing. Like for me, with all of that bollocks, right? He was saying literally a couple of months ago, he was saying, look, I'm a Tottenham player, but in an ideal world, I'd like to stay at Hamburg. I want to play with my brother. And then all of a sudden, the Brighton story comes out, and he's like, well, actually, he hasn't said it specifically, but the unofficial commentary is that he sees it as the right move for his career. Well, which is it? Do you want to play with your brother, or do you want to play? You want to move somewhere else? If you want to move somewhere else, then why is Tottenham not the right place for you? Do you have a resentment towards us? And by the way, maybe your resentment, if you do have it, is based on what you've seen from Tottenham and what you've heard from Tottenham in the last 24 months. But under De Zerbi, all of a sudden, far better players than you are, son, are starting to warm to the idea of coming to Tottenham, which we're going to come to in just a minute.
Can I just say here, I think this smacks, if I'm brutally honest, of an agent who has had this player since 16 years of age. He's got 2 loan fees. Got a loan fee for when he got the deal done. Got a loan fee to Belgium. He got a loan fee to Hamburg, and now his client is absolutely smashing it. He's got people knocking on the door. Bayern Munich are interested. This one's interested. That one's interested. He smells the big payday.
The agent's golden goose, right?
Yeah. So if you were advising your player, right, as my mate has advised his players, there are stepping stones, right? Everything comes in time. Yeah. And I think at his age and for his development right now, he should be going for a loan club. Step up.
Seems a little bit of like the Dragosin situation with that agent as well being a donut, right?
Yeah, but this guy's a little bit that guy's a proper donut, right? But this guy here is obviously just working in the shadows, as you should be, right? Maybe suggesting to your client, maybe we could get you a good deal. I think what Spurs should maybe do is offer him a new contract again, up his wage again, and get him to sign an extension to the contract he's already got. His contract runs to 2030, which means he'll have 3.5 years, whatever, or 4 years left on his contract. I would do a 5+1, a bit like Porro, the deal we got with Porro, and give him a rise.
By the way, big decision that for Pedro Porro. He's given up the best part of his playing years to be at Tottenham Hotspur for essentially 10 years of his career. That's a big fucking deal for a very sought after right back.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the system is what's sorted this. I think he's going to be playing as a wing back rather than as a right back. That's what I'm hoping, because I think as a wing back, well, I just think that the best version of Pedro Porro was the version at Sporting Lisbon. That exciting attacking wing back rather than the traditional right back. I think as a right back, he's exposed consistently, and I think in a back three potentially, he's got plenty of cover there. I might be wrong. He might not even play a back three.
A lot of people are talking about back threes with De Zerbi. I don't know. For me, I'm not a fan of it. I think if you're going to play possession-based football, you don't want to have three defenders and 2 midfielders. You want to have 4 and 3 personally. But that's just my style. We'll talk about that when it becomes more clear. Let me just do some of these super chats, guys, and then we'll bring on to the main stories of today, which of course is Van Hekke, and then the big one that Tottenham are actually entering discussions, and it's coming out from everywhere. £100 million. The 85 million is not the number. It's 100 million for Tonali. We got to look into this one because it's a massive. And I've got all the stats. And by the way, I was telling Johnny earlier on about the problem with having a database that has 200 plus specific statistics for every player is that it becomes a little bit cloudy, right? It becomes a little bit crowded trying to find all of the various stuff. Well, I've managed to add a little feature into even though the feature hasn't dropped on the main site yet. I've added a little feature today that makes it a little bit easier, so I'll be able to show you for Van Hekke and for Tonali as well. So we'll do that in just a minute. Before we do, big up to Box Kev, always here, always supporting. One of those Ratatatar friends of the show that are so generous every single time. You get a special choo-choo to you, Boxy. Yeah, you mate. I hope you are happy and healthy, mate, out in California doing the things you love. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very, very much indeed. As always, mate, massive supporter of the show. I really do appreciate you. What's going on? So someone's tapping away. Is that you, Kate? You tap-a-roo? Are you doing the tapping?
Might have been. I don't know.
Maybe it's the ghost. Something's going on. The ghost is back. Big up to you, Boxy. Andy B has become a new member of the show. Big up to you, Andy. Thank you very much, mate. Looking forward to getting to know you, buddy. Appreciate you very much indeed, my man. Blaine's in the house. Big up to Blaino. He says, shall we have an orange third kit and open a stroopwafel, a stroopwafel stand on the stadium with our Dutch collective? Big up, folks, in chat. You know what?
Isn't it a rice fastel? Isn't it a rice fastel in Holland? I think it's called a rice fastel.
I don't know what it is. It sounds fantastic, though. Whatever it is, I need to learn
stroopwafel?
it. I need to learn it. Listen, if some of those Dutch birds come over, if we can replace some of the Korean chicks with the short skirts and the ratatatars with some of the Dutch tan and the Schleitlisp, then we are in good times next season as a single male bachelor in the Tottenham world. They're all very tall, though, aren't they? They make us all look a little bit smaller. Kate, don't cover your face. Don't cover your face. Sorry, always Lauren.
Outrageous.
Big up to Blaine. Thank you very much. And he's come back in with
Coming from you, Kate. Coming from you, of all people. I mean, come on.
Big up to Blaine as well, mate. Blaine's dropped 10 Spurs Talk Show memberships. Unbelievable generosity, Blaine. Thank you so much, mate. And it's so good to have you back in the group, mate. So good to have you back in the WhatsApp, mate. We've missed you, buddy. We missed you. If you did receive one of Blaine's memberships, then please do give him a little ratata. Thank you, Blaine. What a guy he is. I wanted to. Actually, I've starred that because I want to bring that up later. Will Lancashire, a player that looks like he might be on the way out. Stories tonight dropping at the moment that £20 million is what Tottenham value him at, and that there are loads of teams that are looking at him. And I am actually not surprised because, Johnny, you and I have spoken about this forever. There's something about Will Lancashire. I think he's going to go on to have a really, really strong career, and I think he will become a Premier League player. I don't think Tottenham should really sort of jump the gun on this one, but we'll talk about that towards the end. Big up to Marzi for the super chat. Choo choo to you, Marzi. Thank you so much, mate. Never gonna give you up. Love that. That profile pic you've got there. And Chudini's in the house as well. Big up to you, Chudini. Choo choo to you, mate. Choo choo to both of you. All right, guys. Let's get into the main story. Van Hecker. It's done. £52 million. No add-ons at all. You don't often hear that anymore.
They've added enough on already, Sean. How much do you want? It costs $2 million. He's got a year left. How much more?
Doesn't matter what.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, Tony. Hang on a minute, Tony. There you go.
Johnny, you can't listen. You cannot go into negotiations and say he's only worth this because you only paid that. That's not how it works. If they paid that and they got away with it, come on,
a year left.
That's fair. That's a fair comment. Yeah. But the £2 million thing is irrelevant to Tottenham. That's just good business for Brighton.
That's why. I mean, hello. Here's the clue: Brighton, who buy everyone at a bargain bucket price, want to buy Vuskovic for £30 million. Hello.
Yeah. No, fair enough. But on the player himself, I'll stay with you, Johnny, because we're here now. What are we saying about Van Hecker?
Look, he's a leader. It's another leader in the pack. Senesi was very much, at the forefront of the group. Look, we thought when we had Romero and Micky van der Ven that suddenly we were going to be, Jan and Toby revisited, and it's been anything but that. And I'm starting to think now that maybe this Senesi, Van Hecker, and Micky van der Ven combination could be that defence. We can't be worse than the amount of goals that we've conceded after the last wee while. And Van Hecker, as I said, good at progressing the ball, likes to engage high up the pitch. If I had one thing I would say about him, sometimes he engages a little bit too early and mistimes it, and then he's susceptible to the ball over the top. But when you've got Micky van der Ven who can cover, that might be better because Brighton don't have that. Very good aerially, which, again, Micky van der Ven is one of those weak spots. Yeah.
People have said that he's not that great aerially. I've got some stats. I don't know what they're talking about, mate. Very good aerially.
Is that the aerial stats?
No, this is so basically this is what I was saying to you earlier. So I rebuilt this tool earlier, right? And I basically I put this filter in where, can you see it on the screen? I'm not sure. Where I basically gone right top 5, like Jan-Paul Van Hecker, against the top 5 European leagues, all centre backs, and then I've just got the weaknesses and his strengths, right? And you can filter out like where does he in what departments of the 200 stats is he in the top 80th percentile? And those are them all. Like these are the stats. So passes into the box. He is in the top 81st percentile. I mean, it goes on and on. A lot of these are passes, right? A lot of these are passes. Line breaking passes received. A lot of these are passes. However, this is all against centre back.
A lot of the ball, look, for Brighton, most of the action progresses through Van Hekke, right? If you look at the large volume of balls coming through are from him. Yep. So, and if you look at him, and then you look on top of that at Senesi's stats, we've got two unbelievable ball-playing centre-backs, right? Which is fantastic. If only we had a quality centre-forward who could run onto them, right?
The only thing I'd call out on his errors, before I bring the other guys in as well, is his interceptions relative to other centre-backs in the top 5 leagues. He's in the bottom 30th percentile this was last season. In terms of he's one-footed, so he's very much right-footed. He doesn't touch his left foot at all. He's in the counter pressures in the attacking half. Say that 5 times fast. He's in the bottom 33%. But generally speaking, the things where he's really underperforming, where he's in the bottom, and these are all things like penalties, set pieces, all this stuff that you would never expect the defender to be in anyway. So there'll be a lot of them will be down there. But he really isn't. Interceptions, only less than 1 interception a game, bottom 30% relative to other areas, and sideways passes.
Senesi's good at that, though. Senesi fills that void. That's what I'm saying. I think the two complement each other. You don't want two exactly the same strengths and weaknesses, right? Yeah. We know that he's very good in the air. We know Micky van de Ven's not good in the air. We know Senesi's very good at reading the game. You can see there from those stats that he's not. What about aerially? What was his stats aerially, Sean?
Oh, hang on, I'll get them back up. Hang on a second.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right. Just whilst I'm figuring, I'll figure that out offline. Then I'll bring up in a second. Kate, Jimbo, who wants to go first on this one? Jan-Paul Van Hekke. Are we all on board this one? It's a really good, really good replacement for Christian Romero. Or do you have any hesitations? Jimbo,
you're on mute, Jimbo. Do you want me to go? I'm well pleased. I don't think 52 million is that bad. All I ever hear from Tottenham fans is we don't spend the money, and the fact that we've spent, maybe it is a bit higher, but at the end of the day, the market is crazy at the minute. I don't think it's obscene what we've paid for him. He's 6'2". As far as I was concerned, I thought he was good in the air. He pocketed Haaland when they drew with City in 2023, I think it was. I think he's a great player. He knows De Zerbi's system. He's played under him before, so he can go straight into it. Great at inviting sort of players on and leaving spaces to go forward. I think he's an absolute brilliant addition. And like Johnny said, the fact that we've got Senesi as well, I think they're really going to complement one another. So I am absolutely delighted that we've got him and that it's over the line.
Yeah, I'm with Kate.
Go on, Jimbo.
Oh, yeah, I'm with Kate. I think it's a fantastic buy. And the price, I don't think it's bad, Sean. I don't, even with a year left. Imagine if he had 3 years left, what would they want for him? So,
yeah, fortune.
I mean, I'm looking at the minute we've paid 52 million for 3 good players, 3 really good players. So, I mean, at the minute, for me, the window's excellent. Yeah, he's a fantastic buy. And I think that he's going to fit in really, really well. And as Kate said, he knows De Zerbi. De Zerbi knows him. I think they're really close by what I've read. That they're really, really close. So yeah, for me, great addition. And let's just hope the window keeps going on like this.
And let's hope that means Romero's actually leaving.
Yeah, I think he's there. 100% he's going. 100% he's out of here. He knows it as well. Just to answer the question around the aerial wins. So what's interesting is that he's actually won 136 aerial duels in the last season. across the season in the Premier League, and compared to the defenders in the top 5 leagues, that actually puts him in the top 98th percentile. But actually, on a per 90 basis, what's interesting is it drops down to 88th percentile. Aerial win percentage is 64th percentile, which I actually thought that 64th percentile would be really high, but apparently it's around middle of the road. I thought 64th percentile was really interesting. The one stat that does worry me, and it's one that I called out earlier on in the video I did this afternoon, is that he is one of the weakest when it comes to being dribbled past. And I don't know if that's because he's slow at turning or if his ability to read the game is poor. But according to this detail, he would be someone that if I was the stats guy playing for managing a different team, I'd be saying if you got a tricky winger that's a left winger, rather than taking on your like Pedro Porro, or maybe you can take on Pedro Porro anyway because he's not exactly spectacular at doing this stuff. But maybe Tottenham will be vulnerable to being ran past on our right hand side defensively if Van Hecker is playing and Pedro Porro's next to him, because at least statistically that looks like a weakness that they both would carry.
Yeah. As he's bad at dribbling, it's a good job Harry Kane's left the league.
Eugene, big up to you. How are you, Eugene? You okay?
I'm good. Yeah, in our WhatsApp group, Kate was begging me to come on, so I was like, I gotta make an appearance.
Yeah, I think in that same conversation, you compared yourself to Martin Luther King.
No. I was just giving a historical fact. I was not comparing myself. I was just, teaching history. Just
have you had a wet
fact.
dream? Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Many dreams.
He's joining. But before we move on, then Eugene, give you quick last thoughts on Van Hecker. Spicy start from Tottenham, and you're happy with Van Hecker? Yeah, I think everyone's happy with him, aren't we?
I mean, in isolation, very good player, good footballer, very good all-around skill set. I'm just wondering now if De Zerbi is gonna switch to back 3 or back 5, because to me that's the only thing that makes sense. Because I don't think Senesi would sign without assurances that he's going to be playing. So I'm assuming, or at least to me, it makes sense to play Senesi, Van der Ven, and Van Hekke. And we all know that Porro and Udogie were signed for Conte to play a back 3. So to me, it just makes sense. I'm not sure if De Zerbi does that, but it's going to be interesting, especially with 1 game a week. There's not going to be enough playing time for everybody. So it's going to be interesting how he managed it.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Can I ask a question, Sean and everybody here? Because we've now signed Van Hecker and we got Senesi and we got Micky van der Ven and we got Danso and we got Phillips and we got Vuskovic and we got Dorrington, but the Romero situation, do we weaken our bargaining chip now when clubs are interested in, because we're in a situation now where they know full well we have to sell him because we've got too many centre-backs, that will now potentially weaken our price? Can we really play hardball when they know that we have to get rid of him to balance the books on this?
Well, I would imagine that's why they agreed to. I mean, this again, like you got to be potentially like, I don't know, conscious of giving anyone too much credit here, but maybe the reason why they baked in that release clause was because it was a way that they knew that someone out there knows what the price is and they'll trigger it at the right price point. And so Tottenham knew that there was no real need for a negotiation, right? If someone's got the ability to trigger Romero at 45,
or is the deal done? Or is the deal right? What I'm saying is, if you were Spurs, you'd be saying, look, you can have Romero, but let us do our business first, okay? And then you can have him, because if you trigger it now and people know that he's gone, our prices for the people that we're bringing in is going to hamper our negotiating power. Because I just think it's a little bit strange. I don't think I was speaking to someone who does contracts. It is not easy to insert a cheap buyout clause into a new contract. Spurs might want to, sell him, get him to sign a new contract, but I don't believe Spurs are going to pay him 200 grand a week, make him like one of the top earners, if not the top earner, and say, right, you can go for 40 million. I think there'll be a caveat. I would think that the likelihood is, if there was any release clause, it's going to be 60 plus. I can't see in any way, in any game plan, that he be allowed. When you look at the Van Hekke deal and you look at and Romero and how long he's got left on his contract, he's got to be £70 million.
Yeah,
but Johnny, I have. Oh,
sorry.
go ahead,
I think you've got to look with him as well. The last 2 seasons, how bad he's been, Johnny. Yeah. That's not going to help at all, is it?
On the world stage, though, forget what we think of him. Forget what we think of him on the world stage and in the stage of Atletico Madrid, Spain, Argentina, and in Europe. He has a very good reputation. When he wants it, we know that when he wants it, right, he's there. Yeah, but we know. We saw in the final. We saw in the semi-final. Yeah, when he's up.
No one was willing to pay 60 million quid for him last season.
Yeah,
I honestly feel like Spurs fans are going to be surprised, and I do admittedly have an agenda against him, but I don't think that any top teams are going to come for him. Atleti might be the only one. I don't think there's going to be bidding war.
So where do you think he's?
No, I'm just saying. I don't think there'll be a bidding war as many think. I think maybe Atleti comes in for him, or he might go to Italy. Barca is not going to come for him. Or Madrid is not going to come for him.
No,
he's not on that level.
Atletico, he's made for Simeone. We all know that.
Yeah, but they don't pay money.
But we're not gonna roll over for £40 million. They always do the same.
Unless it's in the contract, though.
I don't believe that Spurs are going to put £40 million on the contract.
His dad said £200,000 a week. His dad said there was a release clause. You don't believe his dad?
No, I believe that there's a possibility of release clause. But if you were Spurs and you knew what you were doing, you wouldn't be giving the guy, get him to sign a new contract and pay him £200,000 a week for another year, okay, and only sell him for £40 million, where you could have sold him that year, right, and got more than the £40 million. It doesn't make sense to me.
According to Ben Jacobs, he was on Last Word on Spurs. I don't know if you was on there, Johnny, actually. Tottenham have said that because of the amount they're paying for Van Hekke, they want 70 to 80 million for Romero. Now, for me, that's never going to happen.
But who's going to pay that money? Who has that money? The Prem teams, maybe Man U. In Europe, they have no money. Atleti is not going to pay more than 45, 50. Madrid is not going to go for him. Barca is not going to go for him. That's it.
Atletico got the money. Listen, the same thing happens every season, right? They plead poverty, right? Plead poverty when they're buying. And when you're selling, it's top dollar. Meanwhile, they've managed to find 80 million for Julian Alvarez. They want to sell any of their players. They pay top money for them. They have money. Atletico Madrid has, since the Metropolitano Stadium's gone in, their commercial revenue's gone right up. They're doing very well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're like that. They're like Atletico Madrid, like that guy who's never got a fiver in his pocket to pay for his own pint. Yeah, when you see him leaving the pub, he's getting in a nice fucking BMW.
Targa Porsche. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those people piss me off a little bit, if I'm entirely honest. They wind me up. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So what we say, so you don't believe then that the release clause is
40 million. No, I don't believe that Spurs would sign him on a new contract, give him 200 grand plus a week, and say, yeah, you can go for 40 million at the end.
Maybe
of
it's 50 million. Would you let him go for 50 million quid?
Yep.
I'd let him go for 50 million. I don't think he's that great, and I don't like Tottenham will need to recoup some money. They will need to recoup it from somewhere, and if it's not through him, it's going to be through Micky van der Ven, and you don't really want that to happen. Of the two, and if it's not either of them, who's it going to be? Destiny Udogie to Fiorentina? Well, they haven't got any money. Like, no one in the Premier League's buying Udogie. So if he was to leave, it would be to go back to Italy, and they haven't got any money over there. Other than
forget the money, Sean.
Pape Sarr's not worth more than 20 million, is he? Let's be honest.
Is Micky signing a new contract? That's gone very quiet right now. How would we all feel if Romero and Micky left? Right? We wouldn't be so. We wouldn't be buzzing as we are now. With this setup, we need to keep Micky, I believe, and I think if anyone can, that's De Zerbi. Yeah. But we know where he was, 3 months ago. He was out the door, and his performances were.
Yeah, we were all calling him the rat, weren't we?
Correct. Yeah,
but even if we don't forget the money, there's just no spot for Romero right now, unless we're going to go 7 in the back. So he has to go.
Seven
I
at the
mean,
back.
He
Proper
has to go.
Simeone stuff.
There's no room for him at this point, unless both Senesi
It's
and Van
Ange
Hecke-
ball in reverse, isn't it? Ange ball
Yeah,
in
exactly.
reverse.
Park the bus.
All right. Jimbo, I'll give you last say on this one, mate, and then we'll move on to this story about Tonali, because it looks like things are heating up over in Newcastle. We don't have to sell Gabby! We don't have to sell Gabby! Well, maybe you do. Maybe you do, talk sport phoning person.
I fucking love that guy. That guy was absolutely brilliant, man.
We
He's been
don't.
on before.
FFP is a joke, Gabby. You're lying. You're lying. what you saying, Jimbo? On the
Romero.
We moved on to Romero. Yeah, go on. Where do you want to go?
I will be absolutely amazed if we get more than 50 million for him. I'll be amazed. That's all I've got to say about it. I think that the way he's conducted himself over the last 2 years has pushed his price down. You know, he's a good defender when he wants to be, as Johnny said, right? For me, he's like a child on the pitch. I'll be glad to see the back of him.
Yep. Spot on, Jimbo. Spot on.
Jimbo's
All right, let's
broken.
move on to because I actually think of all the news today, the Van Hecke one is less interesting to me than the Tonali one. Because as soon as the Van Hecke deal dropped, here we go, done, Bomber done. I was like, oh, quick, Bugsy, get the ball, we've got to go, I've got to put some content out. And I rushed. And then as soon as I press, as I end and upload, suddenly another one drops, and it's this one. He comes straight back out with another one. Tottenham set to open talks with Newcastle for Sandro Tonali. Now, we heard this last night, that Tottenham had gone for £85 million Tonali interest. Then he did the eyeballs. I was up until midnight doing a stream with everybody, or talking to everybody. And then today, this morning we woke up to Tottenham haven't opened any talks with Newcastle yet. But Tonali is... terms are agreed on a personal level, and Tonali, according to this one, is saying keen on the move as exclusively revealed. Reports of Tonali using Spurs to open doors to other clubs described as not true. There's other things, just before I get your takes on it, guys. This one's from Alfredo Padula. I don't know who he is, works for TV Della Sport out of Italy, nearly half a bar in followers. Translated from Itai, saying... Tottenham willing to reach the three-figure sum, over 100 million, demanded by Newcastle for Sandro Tonali. Morning projection confirmed. The great rapport between the midfielder and the coach, a direct line, gives priority to the Spurs. For now, without involving other clubs. Now it's about satisfying Newcastle. You can't say you don't have to do it, Gabby. Try to play ahead of the game. Now, there's one other thing. I don't know why I'm coming to this guy last, but Ben Jacobs saying more on Spurs and Sandro Tonali. Spurs a serious contender and have money to spend despite no European football. De Zerbi driving the move. Bid of around 85 bar plus add-ons, taking the package to around 100 bar. Record bomber, a record transfer for Tottenham. I remember last April 2025 saying, I'm sure Tottenham are going to break the £100 million barrier soon. I thought it might have been last summer. It was always going to happen. I'm not predicting the losing lottery numbers.
How much have we got in the pot, Vinay? We got about 70 million. Okay, let's bid 100 million. But we've only got 70 million in the pot. No worries. Listen, for me, he doesn't give a shit. Right? Hey. Right, listen, I don't care. It's not my money. But all I would say is, right, if we're going to bid 100 million, I hope we've still got another 150 million tucked away for a striker, a left wing, and a midfielder, and a goalkeeper. Because I don't believe Savinho's brilliant for the money. I don't think he's great value for the money. I think we could end up paying big money for everybody because we're in such a shit state. But is he really worth... I mean, I think if he was 80 million, Spurs would do it. I question him being worth £100 million. I'm not saying he's a bad player, because he's not a bad player. He's a good player. But 100 million?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's, again, as Johnny said, that's not our money. However, knowing how we do business, like the way the squad is right now, I would personally go for attackers first. We can sign Tonali and defenders, but nobody can score goals. And so
But
80
Tottenham definitely
million,
need a midfielder, right? Tottenham
but a
definitely need
midfielder, we need a passer, Sean, right? We
Well,
need somebody.
this is the thing. This is the thing. Okay, this is where I'm not sure whether he's the right guy, because everyone can universally agree that he's a very good player, and he's absolutely walked into our team. He's better than Bentancur as being an all-round 8 or a 6. He's better than Polina at doing the passing side of that game, but he's maybe not quite as good as other things. But it comes down to whether or not you, as a football fan of Tottenham Hotspur, or whether De Zerbi, which is more important, recognizes that the gap in the passing, the creativity, the ability to switch it, the ability to get on the ball and just sort of take the sting out of the game at times and move the ball forward, is solved by Sandro Tonali. And I genuinely think, I've seen a lot of people today going, he's a game changer. And I've seen a lot of tacticos going, he ain't really the solution. He's a great player, but he's not perfect for Tottenham. Jimbo's in there, James in the background. Big up to you, James. And I'm in the middle, because I agree that he is better than everything we have, but I don't think he's everything that we need. And I think that is listen, I'm going to bring up the stats in a little while, but I want to give everyone their initial thoughts on what they think about this one before I get him in. James, big up to you. Kate, let me come around the clock. We'll go around to we'll go clockwise on this one, if that's right, clockwise. Yeah. How you do? What's your thoughts on Tonali? 100 million quid, Kate? Is he the guy to drop 100 million on?
I don't care. I don't care if it's 100 million. If that's who De Zerbi wants, then I don't care. It's not my money, and we've cried out for a game changing.
Well, there's no money left, though, Kate.
There will be money left, though, Johnny. They're not going to spend it all on Tonali.
They got plenty under the bed. Don't worry about that.
Look under the bed.
The war chest, Johnny. The war chest.
The thing is, I understand the argument of, well, we need to get a striker, which we do, but there's no strikers out there that are 100 million or 80 million that are brilliant, unless, and there's no player out there either that we can get in that's going to go, like, we're going to go, right, this fixes Tottenham. There isn't one, unless Harry Kane's going to come back, but even he doesn't completely fix Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? So I just think
no one player fixes a team, but if you're going to drop record number, Kate, record money, and Johnny's got a point, right? There's an opportunity cost. If you drop 100 million on one player, it's money that you can't drop on another, or it means that you have to sell other players at certain price. Like, you have to make ends meet, essentially, don't you? So it is like, I know it's not our money, so we shouldn't care, but it's not.
No, but I think this guy completely transforms Tottenham. I honestly think he's that big of a deal. He is progressive passing. He can dictate the tempo of games. He can play as a 6 or an 8. I just think he's such a brilliant player, aggressive, physical, knows the Premier League. I think in this day and age, when you get a player like this that's Prem proven, he's been billed as one of the best, most complete midfielders in Europe. When you get someone like this, you're going to be looking at that sort of money. Yes, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that Elliot Anderson's going for 120 million. The market is crazy. However, if it comes to 100 million, I think I'll just be over the moon if we get him. I mean, I will be surprised, because it's not the sort of thing Tottenham do. And then obviously, my cat's going to attack me. After that, we've got to look at the attacking line. But I really honestly believe this guy transforms Tottenham Hotspur. I think he is the guy we're all looking for.
The Gibbs White, Kate, I think would fit better. Somebody like Gibbs White who can actually score goals.
But De Zerbi obviously wants Tonali, and De Zerbi at the moment is
entirely different profiles of players. Like, you can't compare Tonali to Gibbs White. Let me come to Jimbo first, and then we'll come around to you in a second. There, Eugene. Just want to keep the clockwise thing going. Big up to you, Kate, for that, and big up to the cat as well. Almost knocking the cockerel off. Jimbo, what are you saying, mate?
His stats last year weren't great, were they?
No,
that wasn't.
And by the way, his stats the year before on the simplistic data MB thing, obviously I've got all the things in front of me, which I'll show you guys in a minute. But on the simplistic data MB, his stats like the year before were worse than they are this year, and he had a really bad season. But then most players at Newcastle had a poor season in the one just gone. So
yeah, I mean, look, I'd love to see him come in. I would, and the main thing for me is that if De Zerbi wants him, then we should want him because we've got a top manager there. But the money.
Well, Jim, but let me just push back on that one, right? Because I'm generally with you. I think like you've got to back the manager, but if the manager is a manager that has the propensity to be volatile and to kind of throw the toys out of the pram as soon as things go wrong and then piss off, but he's demanding control over transfer strategies now, and then he wants Tonali now, so we're going to drop 100 million quid on this one or 80, whatever it's going to be. Like this, the rationale for having a DOF is because you need someone in the room that is thinking with one eye on the future, and a manager doesn't care about the future; they care about today.
Yeah.
And that is all. That's the rationale. Whether it's Lang or anyone else, it doesn't matter. You do need to have somebody in the room going, hang on a minute. Like, if you piss off, is Tonali still a great player for us? Is he still worth that money? Is he only going to be here because of you? Like, you do need to have at least a conversation in the room regarding what's the best interest. Now, what the balance is of who gets the final say and who gets the influence, I'd still lean towards De Zerbi over Lang all day long. But I don't think that the manager should have 100% of the final decision on these things.
Well, I mean, look, if you're going to think like that, Sean, you're going to think like that with most players. So, I mean, you've got to look for the here and now. That's what I think. But I can't. I just can't have 100 million there that he's worth that. I mean, 80, 85. But it's the market's the market's just off the planet at the minute.
It's 100 million euros apparently, Tommy.
So what's that about?
85 mil.
How about 100 million shekels? It's a little bit cheaper. Can we play in shekels? How about denaries? Do they still say denaries?
I just don't think he's the passing player that people think he is.
Yep.
I don't think he's that great. I think, like, by the way, 75% of all of his passes last season were sideways passes. Like, I think we've got Harry Winkini because he's
That's
got
last season though, Sean.
Sure, no, and that's true. That's true. But I'm just pointing out the fact that there's
you're disrespecting Tonali hugely.
I'm not disrespecting him.
I think you are, Sean.
Yeah,
I think you should shut the fuck. No, I rate him. I'm just putting out the counterbalance. People going, he's a baller. Let's do it. I'm not saying he's not the right guy. I'd be delighted if Tottenham get it done. I'd be absolutely delighted. I think he's a massive level up on what we have. But before I give my take, I just want to give the other guys a little shot. Eugenie, what we saying, mate? Tonali, Tonalini.
I actually agree with you, Sean. In isolation, again, very good player.
Really?
What did they score? Oh, but I'm not sure if that's who we need. We need a playmaker. We need a deep line playmaker, and we need attackers. We need goals. Does he improve us? Of course he does. Does he improve us? Enough to pay that much money, and leave ourselves short in other areas? I'm not sure. The reason why I said Gibbs White, that's the profile that I feel like we need. We need a creator. We need a passer. We need somebody who chips in with goals. And Tonali, I just think he's a big name. And every time that we're linked to a big name, all the fans are excited. And if we sign him, I'll be excited as well. However, just based on our squad composition, I'm not sure if he's that game changer that everybody expects him to be.
Yeah, fair enough. Listen, again, I rate him same as you. He's obviously a needle mover. I'm going to bring James in. Then I want to show you why I feel the way I do with the stats, because I just think what the stats show is where he is massively outperforming is in areas that are massively important for a De Zerbi ball system. But a lot of it is more around what he's doing to affect the opposition in terms of pressures, in terms of recoveries, in terms of line-breaking passes after those moments. When you get into the weeds with it, which is still a massively important part of a high possession-based team, but his stats don't like scream massively impressive key passes and all that stuff. James, welcome to the show, mate. You look tanned and you look skinny. Have you lost a bit of weight? You've been down the gym. What's going on, mate? You've had a good summer.
Hey, what the fucking... Excuse my French, but what the fuck are those colours? You come on the Spurs Talk Show in red and white. What's going on, James?
Hey.
Yeah, mate. It was holiday
Our-
present to me,
I
bro.
rate you.
From
Nice
from
kit, nice
OK
kit.
Jersey, or do you go and buy the real one?
It's a real one. It was a gift from the boys on holiday.
Very nice too. Sorry,
Nice.
guys.
Can I
Sorry.
just say,
Sorry,
Sean,
kids.
I'm just
Lovely
going to
shirt.
I'm just going to say, me and Jimbo have lost over a stone each, and we didn't get told we look slim.
Yeah, so that to me, when I lost 2 stone about 3 months ago, I put
Yeah,
mine
but that was
back on
because you
again,
dropped
but,
your wallet.
you guys look beautiful all the time. You look beautiful. You always look beautiful. Go on, Jimbo, what we saying about Tonali, my man? What we saying, pal?
Mate, I'm confused, to be honest. People say they want Levy, Enoch, whoever to back the manager. We start backing the manager. Well, that's the wrong player to buy. We need to make a statement signing. Okay, we try and make a statement signing, but not that statement signing. We need to have X, Y, Z, but not that guy. It's embarrassing, to be honest.
No,
He's
it's okay.
levelled above.
It's okay to chew over the fat, though, of the signing, isn't it?
But then what do you want, though, isn't it? Surely it's like, what do you want? I've seen people say that he's no good. There's no point buying him. He's a waste of
Those people are stupid, but he's obviously a class player. It's just, if you're going to drop £100 million or whatever, somewhere around that mark on a player,
what does that matter?
Well, it matters because
are we supporting the football club, or are we supporting the bank balance? What are we supporting?
No. That's not the point. That's not the point. Again, people.
It is the point.
It's not the point because
your first thing is, why would we spend all that money? Like Johnny said, why would we put all of that money into there that's taking away from money from elsewhere? We are going to be selling players, right? We are going to have people coming in and making money that way. It's not
maybe. But when have Tottenham ever sold well? When have Tottenham ever sold a player well? Apart from Harry Kane.
Because again, in my opinion, the fans don't allow it. We've been linked with Vuskovic. If I was Tottenham, I'd say you can have Vuskovic as £60 million or £50 million, £45 million, but we want a buyback clause. Done. See you later. You've never played a minute for us in your life. 45 million in. We've bought a new centre back with that. Off we go again. Unfortunately, there's so many accountants in the fan base that worry.
I think actually a buyback clause is more exciting to me than a sell-on fee. I think.
Yes, a bit like
for 100 million quid, 25% is 25 bar. It doesn't move the needle.
Of course, yeah. But there's just one answer.
If you look at Konza, he went to buy Leverkusen. Liverpool put in a £52 million buyback clause. They look like they could well exercise it this summer. I think it's a very good shout, you know.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good shout.
I think there's so many ways around it, right? Like you sell Romero 55 million, you sell Vuskovic 55 million. That's your centre back done, your left winger done because we're here in Savio's 50 million. So then you're only spending 100 million on Tony, and then you could sell Sarr, you could sell Berghvall if needed. Bissouma's gone, Dragoshin, Danso. There's so much more that's going to happen.
That's all well and good, but when people say, so you're making a different argument to the people that say it's not your money, why do you care how much it costs? And my argument is never, it's not my money. You're right. I don't give a flying fuck how much it costs in that regard. But just on the general concept of opportunity cost, there is a conversation there because 100 million quid on Tonali could maybe be stretched to 120 million for Adam Wharton. And then you have that conversation, right? So there's like, whatever you're doing, you could be doing something else. I'm not saying like
when does that conversation end, though, right?
I don't want you to have to sell your art fucking collection. I don't care about him. I'm just saying like that 100 million quid. Could you stretch it to 120 and then go and test Crystal Palace for Adam Wharton? And if so, then would you rather have Wharton or Tonali? And I asked this question last night on the late night show I did, and it was like 95% people wanted Wharton over Tonali.
But again, this is where I question it, though. This is where I question it. We've been banging on about Levy and Enoch not backing a manager. The manager's come out and said who he wants, and yet we're saying, no, don't buy who he wants. Buy somebody else. And then the manager will foul. The manager will foul. We'll go, well, we've got players from Conte, Mourinho, Pochettino. We'll go, why did he foul again? I don't care. Back the manager.
What we're doing here is sitting there saying, do you personally rate? Of course, like if De Zerbi wants him, we're all going to get behind it, or most of us should. But do you rate Tonali for what you perceive Tottenham to look like?
Absolutely. Next year? He's a fantastic player.
Instead of who? Like, where does he fit in the team?
What? Anybody. He's better than every single better than any midfielder that we've got in our club. He's better than Bentancur, Sarr, Gray, Berghvall, man.
He's a replacement for one of them. He's not the creative spark, right?
No, but you are going to get Xavi back, Kulu back, and Simmons back, right? So why do we need to buy it? Everyone keeps saying, let's get more creative. Well, we've got 3 there that are going to have to go then if we want to buy another one. You can't have 4 10s.
Yeah, but only 3 of them aren't going to play. Maddison will break down, no doubt. What's name's not going to play for at least until well into 2027. I don't think we've got enough to warrant. I totally get where you're coming from, James, because we have theoretically Kulu could be back. Theoretically, Maddison might last the season, but we know the other one's not going to come back. But listen, as far as the Lewis family selling their art collection, they should have sold those Rolf Harris pictures years ago, mate. They're probably not worth anything now anyway.
Yeah, they fell off a cliff. Rug pull on that one. Just quickly, Paddy, love you to pieces. And by the way, I'm really glad that you turned up, mate, because I do need to speak. Can you message me somehow? Because I'm trying to build out a feature on the Spurs Hub for all of the supporter clubs around the world. So you'd be a really good person to speak to. But on this particular message, I feel like we're missing the point here. I'm sort of playing devil's advocate on whether or not he's the perfect signing. Like perfect is he
better than what we've got?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, how is
he not perfect for what we've got then? How is he not the perfect upgrade from what we've got?
I'll show you why.
We need goals, James.
Have we not all been speaking about the idea of what Tottenham's midfield need is someone who can break lines and who can pass and cultivate through the midfield and be someone who can connect from deep. That's what we're looking for, right? The name that gets banded around all day, every day is someone like a Locatelli.
So, I think it depends who you talk to. I would love somebody like him in a double pivot with Gallagher. Personally, I think that's just gold dust.
And that's fine. That's fine. But let me just show you what he outperforms in. Okay. And again, if we sign Tonali tomorrow, I will be fucking over the moon happy. But as a fan base, as a community,
is that his brother? Is that his brother, Sean?
Who?
Tonali tomorrow.
Andrew tomorrow. Yeah. I'll be happy as a pig in shit if we sign him. If that's what De Zerbi wants and we've got the money and it doesn't preclude us from going and getting a Gonçalo Ramos or whatever else, I'm all about. I think he's a brilliant player and a fantastic improvement on what we have. But do I think he solves the gap in what Tottenham's midfield was? Like versus someone else that can do the things that Bentancur can't. This is just a much better version of Bentancur. He can do things that Palhinha can't do. He's better than Gray. He's better than Berghvall in every department. There's no question there. He's one of the best midfielders in the world. I am more than happy. I'd be delighted if Tottenham sign him. Please understand that. I'm not in any way poo-pooing the player. I'm just making the argument that these are the areas where he outperforms. And if you look at them, so many of them are about pressure-based football, right? Defensive actions versus the expected across the season. He's a 97th percentile. He is the guy who's winning the ball back and doing things with it in defensive situations. Counter pressures, possession-adjusted pressures generally, counter press regains, pressures in the attacking half, counter press in the attacking half. Everything that he excels at is about winning the ball back, putting other teams, other midfielders under pressure in advanced 100%. Positions, getting the ball back and winning it, and then giving it, right? But he gives it sideways because he is 75% of his passes this season and last season combined were sideways. He goes and does the shit. He puts people under pressure. He makes them make mistakes. He wins the ball back. And all of those things are incredibly important, incredibly worthwhile, incredibly useful, and also, for what it's worth, are incredibly suitable for a possession-based midfield team like what De Zerbi wants to play. I'm not in any way poo-pooing it, but his passing is not the Locatelli style stuff that people have been calling for all season. And then those same people, as soon as we hear it's Tonali, they go, yeah, that guy's got a fucking cool name and we know his brand is incredible. And therefore, he's not the same type of player.
If you're judging him, though, on that name, then you're an idiot and you've never watched a guy play, right? And also, there's got to be levels to this because we kind of pick apart players for playing in certain systems, right? Why was every single player crap under a Frank? Was it every player's crap, or was it Frank's system? Let's face it, Eddie Howe was a great guy, a great manager, but he's very defensive. Very, very defensive. So his first thing is probably going to get the ball and play it sideways to Romero or go back and keep ball. That's what he's going to be tasked to do, right? So for me personally, I think you're going to see a completely different player. Even if we're fucking lucky enough to get this guy over the door, by the way, over the line, by the way, levels and levels and levels above Tottenham Hotspur, in my opinion. So for me,
of course, we agreed. We're arguing over.
Yeah, no, I know, but for me, I think
is he 100 million?
To us, yeah, 100%.
It's not even about the price for me. It's just, does he, like, we've spoken all year about the need for someone who is a range passer, who can switch it into the channels, who can get the ball where it needs to go 90% of the time, who can progress the ball. For what it's worth, his deep progressions are impressive, right? I won't bring up the stats again; it'll be boring for everybody. But the stats show that his passing is not the best part of his game. It's winning the ball
but I don't
back.
think that's going to matter in a De Zerbi thing. I think De Zerbi is going to go him and Gallagher.
You were all wrong to want Locatelli for the last 6 months.
Who's going to pass James?
No, but I don't think anyone's wrong, because I don't think that's fair to say. But what I think is De Zerbi has a certain way of playing, and it is very, very gung-ho, press, suffocate. So there's no point having a Locatelli that's going to sit there when you need to be suffocating, right? So if this is the case, you do need a Gallagher and a XYZ. And then what you'd probably find is Maddison would rather drop from the 10 to the 8 most of the time and try to link up play through both of them. For me, again, I completely agree with what you're saying about people being crying for one thing and then we don't get it the other way. But personally, I just think this is the perfect guy, along with the defenders, who are the perfect guys to play a De Zerbi style. So I don't see any negative in it at all. I do not care how much it costs, because it ain't my money, and there's going to be a lot of money coming in. And we could all say, what if that takes it away from this, or this takes it away from there, or there takes it away from there? But it's all guessing, right? No one knows what really the budget is. No one can sit here and go, right, the budget is 150 million. And if it is 150 million, the budget, for example, then I would 100% spend 100 million on him. Reason being, I think we're going to be making 100 to 150 million through sales. So therefore, you spend 100, you spend 50 on the defender. We've got a whole new back line now. Porro's just signed, new midfielder. You're almost going to be left with 150 million for a striker and a left wing. And for me, if we did a left wing striker, him, the 2 centre backs, left back, I can't ask for anything more than that.
100%.
Unbelievable.
Oh, just before I shut the fuck up, because I've been speaking a lot. I'm not trying, again, I just want to make sure I'm being, because I know people are going to clip me if I then suddenly go, Tonali, here we go, and I'm bouncing around the room. People go, you weren't on board it. I am on board it. I'm just playing the role of devil's advocate. We have to chew through these things when we talk, and France have gone 2-0 up. I'm on board it if De Zerbi wants it 100%, but he is not the profile that I've seen every single content creator screaming out for the last 6, 9, 12, 2 years at Tottenham. And then Tonali comes along and everyone's like, that's it, our midfield sold if we get him. That is not the same profile as what people have been asking for. That doesn't mean I don't want Tonali. They're just not the same players. They're not the same profiles.
So would you sign him for 100 mil?
Yes.
Okay.
Fine. But then I don't think we need Archie Gray and Berghvall and Sarr and Bentancur.
I would sell them all. I said it last season. They're all crap. Sell them all. There's levels.
Sure.
Shawnee, sorry, mate. I've something's come up. I've been on.
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate you, mate.
Good night, Johnny.
Guys, big up.
Take care, mate.
See you later, Johnny.
Good point though about the buyback, mate. But listen, Tonali's a good player. We've been complaining about everything. He's 100%. I think everyone can agree he's a step up on everything we've got. All I'm saying is, if the pot is X and we're putting in 80% of what we've got in this one signing, I'm just a little bit worried because our strikers, we don't have a left winger. But if we sell players and we bring other money, then I don't care. But big up on everyone. Great stream. See you soon. Take care.
See you later.
Bye, Jimbo. Bye, Kate.
I'm still in shock, Sean, that your poll at 90% would rather have Adam Walton than Tonali. I'm absolutely dumbstruck.
You got to remember as well.
His stats weren't great last year either. Sorry, Jimbo. Go on, mate.
This rebuild's not going to be in this window. It's going to take a few windows to rebuild, and it's a great start. And if we can get him for 85, who are we to argue with De Zerbi?
He's an absolute baller.
It's going to take more than one window to fix Spurs.
All right, let me rephrase the question then, because I think I sort of landed on where I was going to get to right at the end there. I forgot to say it. If he comes in, and James is right that look, we're going to recoup money. Big up to you, Danny. I didn't even know you were in the background, Danny. I didn't see. So how long were you waiting, mate? I'm sorry.
Only a few minutes, right?
Okay, cool. If we do bring in TONALI, to me, like there is a string of midfielders currently in this football club that then are more than surplus to requirements. And unfortunately for whoever, Lubo or whoever's the latest Berghvall version of Lubo, like you could make an argument that, well, first of all, Sarr has to go. You can make an argument that Bentancur is no longer necessary, even though I think Bentancur's better than the other two. But if you want to keep one for the future, you keep Bentancur, you bring in TONALI, you've got Conor Gallagher, Bissouma's gone. You don't need Sarr, Berghvall, and Gray. You could make for one game a week next season, you can make a very strong argument for getting rid of two of those.
But Sean, you got to look as well. If we want to go forward and become a big club, you don't want them players anyway.
Of course you don't. All that everyone's done this season is moan about the likes of Berghvall and Gray, and now we're dissecting buying an absolute baller like TONALI. My mind is blown. How anyone can turn this into a negative is beyond.
Fans. Negative, Kate. We're just dissecting it. We're just doing it through, right?
I mean, just quickly to my American friend James Flower. I rate the kid, my man. No, look. You talk sense. You're 100% correct. If we
say that again, Eugene. James talks sense.
Obviously, no. If we move like Chelsea or
that's when you know you need to change your opinion, mate. That's like
just now.
You're getting credit from Eugene. You got to go. Fuck! I need to rework. I used to have that when box office used to go. No, Sean's absolutely
don't compare
right.
me. No,
I'd go.
No.
Oh, fuck, really?
No, but I'm saying is, look, if we move like Chelsea or Man U, where we could spend money as much as we want, I agree with you 100%. In the last 20 years, we make one big signing per window, and that's it. So just based on history alone, the way we move, I don't have much confidence that we'll sign Van HECKE, TONALI, and then we're going to bring in two attackers. I just don't believe it. So in my mind, I want to see attackers first because scoring is our main issue. We have no goals on this team. We could have the best midfield, the best defense. Our attackers are trash. So for me, if the money is there, cool. Bring in TONALI, bring in anybody else. If we bring in a striker and a winger. But I'm just not sure that's how we're going to do business. And the opportunity cost is real. 100 million, if it's Diomande, all day. Because that's the position of need. He's a superstar. TONALI.
You do realize we have Gray and Berghvall in midfield all season, right? Well, you're saying we don't need this guy.
No, I'm not saying we don't. I'm saying if I see Richalison start for us for one more season, I'm not sure if I can make it.
I feel like I can make seeing Gray, Berghvall, Sarr, Bissouma. There's no difference. They all need to be fixed. It's not one over another. They all need. You will see Spurs score more goals because they'll have more possession. That's just facts. And that starts from the back. That's why, for me, the centre-backs are just as important as anybody else because he's going to build from the back. We're going to create chances from the back. It's not going to be like, give it to the winger, he's going to have to create everything because we've got no one in the box anymore. It's going to be a possession-based breaking teams down football, in my opinion. And I think TONALI is perfect for that.
But Gallagher is not a creator. TONALI, right, as Sean said, he is not really a creator. So with Maddison, it might work, but
Maddison, Gavi, Udogie, Kulu, they create. That's four. Yeah, and we're on about buying Savio, that's five. There are players there, but we just choose not to pick those because of the ones that started last season. And I agree with you. The ones that started last season are, mate, I can't, you know what I think about Richalison and Solanke. The amount of times I called those guys out. Tell is a load of shit. They're all
Hey.
They're all awful.
Too far.
Yeah, that's too far, James.
What are we doing here? Relax.
They're all rubbish. So for me,
I agree.
you can't say we need to replace him because He's worse than him. They're all at the level of 19th or 17th Premier League place. That's where we finish. That's where the level they are. To get higher, you need to buy better. All of them.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually with James a little bit.
Fuck off, Danny.
When he says how are fans crying about Tonali? Like it is. I agree with James. It's mind blowing. Sean, stop crying.
I'm pretty sure you were rubbing your tears away earlier, Sean. I'm pretty sure.
Fucking time. I feel like I need to explain it's okay to challenge a narrative without being anti the hypothesis. You bozos, what are we doing here? It's
Stop
okay
crying, Sean Bird.
Dry your eyes, mate.
You absolutely bozo. Listen, let me press pause for 1 second, Danny. I'll bring you back in. Eight super chats I haven't got to, so let me just say hello to AV2222. Big up to you. She says Vuskovic needs to put the ego to one side and earn his place as a starter in the Premier League team. Spurs should loan him for a year to a lower Prem team. Do you know what's actually just dropped though? Let me find it. There's a
pushing for a move.
Alex Crook. He's not particularly worth listening to, but he has said, how do I do this? There you go. He has said that Vuskovic is not happy at the prospect of being sent out on loan or a lack of game time at Spurs, and that he's looking to leave Tottenham. This guy wanted to go out on loan last year.
Yeah.
I don't believe he was good enough in the Premier League, and all of a sudden he now thinks he's good enough to start. Fuck off, you fucking arsehole, mate. Honestly, he's really grinding my gears, this geezer.
But Sean, it's, how do you know it's true? Like how many times do we see these rumors all the time?
Yeah.
Like last season, right? Romero's going to be sold, and then he signs a new contract. Like no one suspected he was going to sign a new contract. Everyone was like, what the fuck? And then he gets made captain. Right, so it's just
that to me was
footballers, fans, players, owners, managers. They all flip flops, every single one of them. Right, they all flip flop every second. Right, that's just the way nature is of the football world. So look, I don't personally believe that Vuskovic is saying these things. Right, especially for the fact that he said the quotes that you've actually seen from him is from last season and from towards the end of the season where he was saying he wants to play, he would like to play with his brother. It's a dream to play with his brother if he can. And the other thing was that he, like you said, Sean, he wanted to go on loan. And he compared himself to Van der Ven and Romero and said he was nowhere near the level. So I don't believe for a second that he's saying these things, that he wants to leave, or I don't believe that for a second. So I think we just have to wait and see the Vuskovic one. But look, if he does want to leave, then I don't care. Get the money for him. Get as much money as you can for him. Whatever they value him at, which I think will be a lot of money.
I'm just not just because he suddenly last year he thought he wasn't good enough. Now he thinks he's too good.
I don't agree with that though. I don't believe that.
You can go fuck himself. You might be right, Danny. You might be right, but like it's.
Do you believe it? Do you believe it?
No, I feel like what I've heard from him is I really want to stay at Hamburg. I'll probably be going back to Spurs, but if I had my way, this is a quote, I'd stay at Hamburg and play with my brother. And then all of a sudden we're hearing actually. No, he thinks that Brighton's the next best place, and now we might be hearing. I mean, Alex Crook's not worth a wank, but in terms of his it stands true and consistent with the narrative that I'm hearing, which is he doesn't rate himself as a Tottenham player, doesn't rate Tottenham. And listen, that doesn't mean you get to fuck off on the cheap, bro. You know, that's not how it works. You signed a contract, so you'll do as you're told, you lanky bastard. Let's look at Ulrika Car. Why would Tonali cost more than Gordon? Discuss.
Yeah, he's a better player.
He's a better player. But do you know what? That's the good point, right? Because like I think you guys have all discussed it, but the market is insane. For Barcelona to pay what they paid for Anthony Gordon, it is madness, right? So 85 million for a player like Tonali, or even 100 million pounds, right? If it is pounds. It is, for me, I'm with Kate and James. I think it's ridiculous that fans keep saying they want the best players, yet they're going to turn their nose up on getting a player like him, right? I think
Who's turning their nose up?
Only Sean is
I
saying that.
didn't say
Only Sean is saying that. To be fair.
I'm not saying you. Kate's saying you.
Not me. Only Sean.
Only Sean. Yeah. Eugene's not now. He's changed. He flip flopped as well.
Oh no. Gordon. Hey, I rate Gordon. I would
No,
take
not Gordon. I'm
in
talking
it.
about Tonali.
Yeah. No.
You're outrageous, you
I think
lot.
I honestly,
nothing to
Tonali, he like if we want to become a club that's going to be like challenging at the top level of the table, right, top end of the table, we have to keep improving, and he dramatically improves that midfield, like levels what we've got. So if we want to become one of those top teams, we have to keep buying those players. So it doesn't just stop with Tonali, right? And I know that I'm gonna choose to believe that Tottenham can't be that fucking stupid, right, to go and spend that sort of money and then say, okay, our business is done. Like I cannot.
That's what we're doing, Danny.
Yeah,
but that's
I know.
The window.
I know. But the difference is what I believe anyway is the fact that we have like two seasons where we finished 17th, and last season we literally scraped relegation. Like if they do not like make a massive dent into the ambitions of what De Zerbi wants, right, then they know what's going to happen. De Zerbi's going to just like explode, and then everything's going to hit the fan again. Then we're going to start again, and then more players will want to leave because players want to come because of De Zerbi. They want to stay because of him. So they have to give him more keys to the kingdom to let him do what he wants, because they've obviously made a promise to him with a 5-year contract, right? They're not paying him that sort of money just to say to him, do you know what? We're not going to do what you want. F off, right? We're going to give you shit. And then what's going to happen? We're going to be back to firing Frank again.
To add to that, this is the bit I don't understand, because our fans are picking and choosing what they want to believe and what they don't want to believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Every single journalist that I've listened to or seen has said they want a striker, they're going to get a winger, they're going to get a striker, they're going to get a midfield. But what we're going to get,
maybe two even.
Yeah, but what everyone's choosing is go, no, they're spending all that money on one player. But based on everything everyone else is saying.
Who is saying these things?
You, Sean. You. I'm doing a new now.
The comments tomorrow.
You are winding me up.
Everyone is saying, why would you spend £100 million on our budget on that? There should be other ways to spend it, right? You've heard people say that.
It's a question. It doesn't mean we're asserting it. There's a difference between a question mark and you sound Australian. You know when Australians have got like the inflection at the end of their speech when they say a sentence, like they go, I went to the bar last night. And you're gonna go, are you telling me or are you asking me? I don't know. You sound like you've got amnesia. I feel like you lot have got fucking amnesia, because I'm asking the question: is there a better place to spending it? To spend that money? It doesn't mean that I am of the mindset that Tonali is not a good signing.
Sean. Stop talking shit. Stop talking shit. Listen, you're talking so much waffle tonight. You are unbelievable. Is there any better way you could spend it? First of all, you've got to convince the other players that they actually have to come and join Tottenham in the first place. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Wharton." Only like a massive Liverpool fan and wants to join Liverpool. So we kind of go, well, just spend another bit more Wharton, and Wharton goes, "Nah, you're all right." And then what will happen is he will end up going to City or an Arsenal, and everyone will go, "Well, why did Tottenham act like that? Why ain't they acting like a big club?"
You go to the bar, you arrive at 7:30, and if some bird comes up to you at like 7:45 and goes, all right, you go, let's go, baby. You just go straight home, because they might be something better out there, but I don't want to take the risk of a bird in the hand in the bush.
You would take the risk. I would have left and had a cracker. You would have been standing at the bar waiting for someone, and at the end you're going to get left with like Shrek and go, "Oh fuck it, I'll take it." I mean, that's a Daniel Levy special. Last day of the season, yeah, we'll take fucking Lewis Saha. Yeah, we'll take someone like that. Yeah, please, mate.
You're trying to blind us with your stat tools that Tonali's not the guy, and he is the guy, Sean. All your little stat guys can say what they want.
But James, how many years have been? Put it up again.
If I was you, mate, I'd go back to your super chats, because you're fucking this one.
I was trying to. Chelsea before donuts intervene, for fuck's sake. Let's get back onto it. Spurs 6659, big up to you. Remember for 6 months. Thank you for your loyalty and your generosity. He says, does OK Jersey have the 26-27 kit yet? I'm not sure. I think if they don't, then I need to have a word with them because they're missing the trick. So I can't really talk about that though on the stream. So got to be careful. But I will certainly have a word, mate. Big up to you. Thank you very much. Coy's Whole Spurs. Big up to you, Holski. Hope you're going to say more common sense than these bozos on the stream tonight. RDZ, Roberto De Zerbi getting what he wants about time as time previously nearly cost relegation. I'm backing everything as we have been shite previously. Plus, who wants to go through that nightmare again? Well, one particular content creator still trying to push the narrative that it was the best thing that could have happened to Tottenham, and it turned out it wasn't, because we wouldn't be talking about Tonali if we were in the Championship right now. We wouldn't have signed Van Hecker. We wouldn't have signed...
You might be, Sean.
Oh,
what a clown. Last time you're coming on, bro. With your epoxy red and white stripes. You know, listen, it's a good thing you lost a little bit of weight, mate, because those sort of horizontal stripes don't usually go well with a chubby guy. You know, you're looking all right, though. It's been pulling it off nicely. Congratulations.
John, can I push back on James? Hey, James, you said we got to believe everything. How many years have we been hearing about a war chest? Like 5 straight years, there's a war chest that we're going to spend. There's a war chest. People have been repeating it. We haven't spent anything. So are you sure we're going to spend it this year?
Shit.
Yeah, we spent one of the most in the Premier League. Like net spend.
Spent $1 billion
Under Ange, we bought Solanke. That's it. We spent
over 400 million on that.
In my opinion, as well. I know Sean's not going to like this. Sorry, mate, but I feel like we've acted like a big. Well, actually, the last summer that Levy was there.
Don't you dare say
the last 3 windows. This window, January. Maybe not so much January, but definitely the last summer. And Levy was there the last summer. We've actually quality of player.
So the only you were about to say since Daniel Levy's left, we act like a big club. But the only window that we've had since Daniel Levy hasn't been here has been a shit show.
This one, this window's better than anyone under Daniel Levy. We get like Tony, it's done. The goated window. We've never had a better window.
In defence to Levy here, James. We did just need to get relegated. I think this was the wake-up call that everybody needed. Even
what about the season before?
Oh, by the way,
yeah,
Daniel,
we never really
the season when we won a European trophy.
Yeah, and we were never going to get relegated. We were safe when he did that. So you know, I won't have completely.
But that doesn't make it any different, any better, right? 17th for 17th.
Yeah,
you look at that now. What's the difference in last 17th and the 17th before that? It's 17th.
This time, I actually thought I was going to be talking about Spurs in the Championship this season.
No, mate. To be fair, I stayed true to my guns, and I said we are not going down for ages. Everybody was telling me, and I said, "Not happening. It's not happening." Believe
James, it was close.
It was very
never.
close.
I haven't seen you around, James. You stopped showing up.
Listen, if Daniel Levy had been here, we would never have got even close to the bottom 3. What are we doing here? Let me big up to you, Coy's Whole Spurs. Appreciate you. I was hoping you were going to bring in some more logic, and I think you did to some degree. Although James sort of was nodding his head in agreement, and therefore I'm not sure how to feel about it, to be honest, because he's been the first moment he came on this evening. Big up to you though, Chad. Big up to Chad, my man. Chad, how you doing, buddy? Over in Florida, he said we just signed the 2 best passing centre backs in the league. Tonali doesn't need to be an elite passer; he just needs to be up the other team's shorts and win the ball back. That actually is a very reasonable point.
But Gallagher does that.
That's what I said earlier, Sean. What are you talking about?
No, you didn't say that.
Do you not think?
What are you talking about?
Do you not think like the players that we are targeting? There's a particular style and type of player that we want, right? And you can see it in the way that we've got Robertson, Van Hecker, we've got Senesi, and if we get someone like Tonali, that is just unreal. Like. For a start of the window, of course we still need more, but that is what you call. I think what De Zerbi said, didn't he say that he wants to have a top team this year, right? Well, I think that's already starting to look like a top team in terms of the defense and the midfield. Nearly, But I think after that, we just need another. Look, I think like James said it as well. We've got like Kudus coming back. He'll be ready to start the beginning of the season. Maddison will probably be ready to start even more so at the beginning of the season, right? Kulusevski, we don't know. And who's the other player? We've got another player, haven't we? Is there one other player?
Odebear?
Oh yeah, Odebear, yeah. But I mean, like in terms of
he's injured.
Yeah, Xavi Simons, he's injured, that's it. But if Kulusevski, he could play some sort of part in sort of coming the first half of the season. So you're gonna have players available, right? In players who can.
We need 2 goal
Maddison
scorers.
Scores goals. Maddison's a goal scorer,
but not. We need 2 goal scorers.
TONALI
Okay, Eugene, who are they then? Who are they?
TONALI
Tell
score
us
goals.
who's out there.
Eugene, who scored all Arsenal's goals last season when they won the league, mate?
Set pieces. Gabriel.
So what are we saying here?
Oh, is that what we're trying to emulate? We're trying to
have number 1
football FC.
What are you saying?
Listen,
You said we need goal scorers. What goal scorers did Arsenal have last season?
Are you comparing us to Arsenal?
No, we're better than Arsenal.
Anybody that is challenging the TONALI deal, I haven't heard a single person say that he's not a massively impressive player. And of course, if we sign him tomorrow or next week, I'll be all over I'll be shamelessly throwing out the content. Content's got a content. No flip flop. No, but just playing devil's advocate. That's what we do here. You need to get people's opinions on board. And I'm just saying that for me, I think Chad, by the way, big up to you, Chad, for that super chat. Very generous. I think he makes a good point that if you built your passing through the centre backs, then maybe the idea of winning the ball back high up the pitch or wherever in the pitch in the middle third, which is what he's great at, and then offlaying it. 75% of his passes are sideways. Then maybe we can offlay it to someone like Van Heecke, who's far better at progressing the ball up the pitch than TONALI is. It's just a fact on the stats. It's a data-based fact, whether you like it or not. I'm not rooting against TONALI. I would love this. I love the transfer. And I think it makes a little bit more sense when you think about it from the perspective of our defenders are the best defenders from a passing perspective. On-ball value-based central defenders. I don't think there's a team in the Premier League with better stats from that basis. So on that rationale, TONALI works. But I still want to get your opinion, guys. Jimbo, I haven't heard from you in a while. What would happen in a world where...
Can't get a word in.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, mate. Sorry, that's what we do here. If we sign TONALI, mate, who do you got to just jump in, bro. You got to jump in.
No, I'm all right.
Who do you want to see the back of? Would you rather see the back of Bentancur? Would you rather see the back of Sarr, Gray, Berghvall? How do you make it work?
Sarr, Berghvall. I think he likes Gray, so I don't think he'll be going. But Odebear can go as well. I like Tel. I think Tel's got something about him, and I think under De Zerbi, he'll do well. I think he'll coming on. Why are you smiling, James?
Because he don't like him.
I don't rate him. The difference, I'm not saying you, difference between me and people that are comparing people like that, I don't want people that are has been. I'm happy to let Vuskovic go. I'm happy to let Gray go, Berghvall. I don't want any of them near my club anymore if it means we should be getting the likes of TONALI. That is the level we should be going for.
I agree, 100%. I agree. But I think that if he brings another winger in, I think you can keep Tel and work with him because I think Tel's got something about him that he could be a really good player.
But Tel's not going to sit on the bench. If we buy a Savinho, Tel isn't going to want to sit on the bench the whole season, right? No cup competitions for him to go or no Europe. He ain't going to get any better.
He's got a chance to compete with him, right? He's got a chance to compete with him. I think what I've seen of Tel coming on as a substitute as an impact player, he is brilliant. Like he's made a difference. He's made a difference in a lot of the games he came on as a sub. Like if you actually look at what he's done as a substitute against Man United, where we should have won that game, he made a massive difference. He did it towards another team towards the end of the season. He asked the goal he scored against, who is it? That I know he made that stupid error in the.
I thought he did all right kicking him in the head. That's what I wanted to see.
No, but like if you
We want competition for places. That's the whole thing. And Tel, I agree with Danny. I think off the bench, he's a good player. And I think Tottenham fans, a lot of them, and James, I might actually include you in this, have made their mind up about Tel too early because he's still a young man learning his trade.
Okay. Can I ask a question then? My question about Tel would be, why is it every single manager comes in and drops him straight away? If Odegaard was fit, Odegaard played. If anybody else was fit, they played. He was always the last resort.
Never, James.
De Zerbi
never had anybody.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that if he had, he would have dropped him. James, so that is a mute argument.
Look, I've said that I think there's things that he is good at. I think he should be taking all dead ball. I think he should take corners, free kicks. I think he's got a great ball like that. I think that he works really hard, but I don't feel like he's got the ability to make the right decision. The right decision, and that for me, the ability to make the right decision is better than any other quality, in my opinion. Because when he was 1-on-1 with a defender, you'd think, right, beat him now, and he would cut back. And then when you'd say, right, cut back, lay off, he would try to beat his defender. That for me is why I haven't seen anything in him to say, right, that's what I want to see.
James, okay, what did I say to you about him? His decision making is the thing about him that I don't like. But I agree with you 100% there. But I think De Zerbi can teach him. I think he can learn under De Zerbi, and I think we could get a really good player out of him. There is potential.
I think that he can't. In my opinion, any of these young players, and I'll put Gray, Berghvall, Odegaard, any of those in there, they're never going to learn on the training pitch, right? They have. But for me, Tel, if we can get him on loan to Brentford, that is the best thing we could do. Because he needs to be playing week in, week out in the Premier League to become a better player. The amount of players that we do this with and they just fall off of a cliff and we never see them again, it's because they're not getting minutes on the pitch. For me, Vuskovic, go back to Germany, go out on loan. People were saying about Will Lancashire. I like the look of him. Go back to the Championship, join someone that's going to be at the top, a Norwich or a West Brom or a West Ham. Prove your point and then come back to me. We can't keep saying, let him fight for his spot and then go, well, he's too young. What do we want? We want him to develop as a youngster or sit on the bench as a youngster. Two massive differences, in my opinion.
So there's a couple of stories out tonight regarding both of those players, or two of the players you mentioned there. So Vuskovic has come out. Hotspur Lane has retweeted something from Tom Barkley, who I think works at the Sun. Let me bring it up on the screen. And he's saying that Luka Vuskovic is pushing to leave. Oh, so that's not the right one. Sorry, where is the other one? Here we go. This is the one. Tottenham, this was a couple of minutes ago. Tottenham Hotspur would like to keep Luka Vuskovic and loan him out again, but the player and his reps don't want another loan. What should we do with Vuskovic? This is from Tom Barkley of the Sun Football and the Tottenham Way pod. I should probably add that Tottenham Way pod to the Spurs Hub. I didn't know they existed. It's a challenge, right? Because this geezer wanted last season, he didn't want to stay at Tottenham. He wanted to go out on loan. Now he's proven himself, doesn't want another loan. If the options in his mind and his representatives' mind are don't loan me, sell me, or keep me, then we keep him. And I would probably make the argument that you sell Dragusin, right? And you make Vuskovic the fifth choice centre back, and you give him minutes.
I just don't even get why it's a question. I'd just say, shut up, mate. You're under contract. You do as we tell you to, or you sit on the bench and just rock. Like,
he's got someone in his ear.
We can't be held to rank by a 19-year-old.
He must have someone in his ear, because if that just say if that's true, right? I guarantee that will be his agents and people on his team saying, "Look, all these teams that want you, you can do it." And then it's getting to his head. And if that's the case, for him to show how humble he was last year and showed he had the right mentality to kind of say that he wanted to go on loan to keep improving, and then all of a sudden now he's too, like you said, Sean, he's too good for Spurs unless he plays. But I don't know, like he has to have someone in his ear. He must do. And
the other story, though, guys, is about. Sorry, just quickly, Danny. I want to bring two people at the same time. So you got this story about him there, but the other story is about Will Lancashire tonight. and we haven't spoken about this one. So I want to get everyone's. I'll let you go first, Danny. Then I want to get everyone's takes. It's kind of the final conversation before we can round off in the next 15 minutes, if everyone's okay with that. Will Lancashire as well, right? £20 million is Tottenham's asking price, and apparently there's already a bid from Middlesbrough. This was put up by Spurs 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. I've seen that earlier on Twitter, but I couldn't find the thing to show. Middlesbrough are looking to put in a bid for a potential £15 million. What's your guys' thoughts on Will Lancashire? Like, there's something about Will Lancashire. I don't want to sell this guy for cheap.
No.
Like, there's something about him. I think he understands spatial awareness. I think he's got that kind of hunter mentality. I think he knows where the ball is. In fact, funnily enough, at the Reading game that Johnny and I went to in the summer, when Vuskovic scored a goal, got an assist, and also made a goal line clearance, all within the first 8 minutes of his first time putting on a Tottenham shirt, that assist fell to Will Lancashire. Will Lancashire was the early adopter of that move, saw what was going on. And I've seen him do it for Oxford 3 or 4 times this season. I think the guy just understands where the ball's going to be before he's going to be there, and that stuff is worth its weight in gold. We saw the same thing when he got the chance against Galatasaray in the Europa League the season before last. Like, there's value in this kid, and I just feel like Tottenham are a little bit. It's not the same as Dane Scarlett. I think Dane Scarlett's had enough chances and hasn't moved, but Will Lancashire I don't think has. I think this guy might be a top player. Thoughts?
I like Lancashire, right? And Middlesbrough, did they get promoted to the Premier League?
No.
Ideally, I'd love him to go on loan to a Premier League team. And if Spurs are gonna sell him, then the one thing I'd say is caveat that with a buyback clause. Like, and I'd say the same for Vuskovic as well. Like, if Spurs are going to sell them, then they need to put some kind of buyback clause that if another club comes in for them and they want to leave, Spurs have first option. I think that's what all the big teams do. The Man Cities, the Chelseas, the Uniteds, when they sell a player and they're not sure if they actually might want him back if he turns good, like they did with is it Colwell when he went to Brighton and Chelsea bought him back, didn't they? Things like this, right? Like you've seen it before. So that's what I would do if I was Spurs. And Lancashire, I agree, Sean. I think what I see of him, I see something in him. There's that kind of I'm not saying Harry Kane, but he's kind of like that esque, the way he hits a ball, the way he kind of he's like you said, his positional awareness, his kind of, I think his attitude to wanting to improve as well. He just wants to keep getting better and better, and I think he believes in himself, which is a really a thing you need when you're a youngster who's trying to make a name for yourself. You've got to keep believing in yourself and keep improving.
Can I ask a question then? A genuine question. For me, say Vuskovic is to be linked with 50 million, right? Just as an example, 50 million. And then the likes of Will Lancashire is 20 million. They're two kids that could be. We could swap those could be's for an absolute unbelievable centre midfielder in Tony. So for me, I understand the love and the fascination and the what if, what ain't. But for me personally, when you can sell a couple of kids and bring in a top player like that, you have to do that. Unfortunately, that's the only way Chelsea do it, right? Yeah, they make a few mistakes by selling a couple of players too early or whatever, but they are continuously selling all of their youth, and then they put buyback clauses in so they can just buy back. So for me, I am all for it. Just put a buyback in and you're all good, to be honest.
I mean, with a buyback, it makes sense. My issue is, after seeing the players down tools last season, I want to have some homegrown, kids at least be given a chance, like they're given a chance at Man City, just so that some players know what it means to play for Tottenham. And if we sell,
City are a different club to Tottenham, right? City can bring in a Rico Lewis and say, right, one player into an elite football club. We don't have that elite football club.
I'm saying in general, right?
That comes later, though. For me, that comes so much further down the line. You build your first sort of 10 to 15 players in your squad. You go, right, now, who's coming through the ranks, right? You go out on loan, buy back. You do this, buy back. We'll take him. What we've done is we put all the kids and gone, right, go for it. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't care. Just keep going. And then now we've realised we've got to get rid of the kids to bring in the first team. Otherwise, what everyone's saying.
No, for sure, James, I agree. But none of the kids are homegrown, right? We bought Archie Gray, we bought Berghvall, we bought Tel, Odeberg. Like none of the kids actually come through. So all I'm saying is, actually, I want to see some kids from the academy be given a chance. Like I would rather see Lancashire play than Richalison. Like Lancashire as a third striker, for me, would be a good option. Even if we had a top striker, maybe as a backup. But having a Richalison on the team, that's a waste of space. For me, I'd rather see some homegrown kids, like 1 or 2 every season, be on the bench and given a chance to see what they can do.
Yeah, so would I in that kind of mindset, but that isn't going to help Lancashire develop playing 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes here, and we're going to expect him to run with the big guys again. And for me, my opinion, it's just my opinion. It's why Winks, it's why Skip, it's why all of those players never worked. Skip, for me, when he was at Norwich, was unbelievable. Like, genuinely was unbelievable. And what we did, he went, no, you can come back 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes here, and it killed him. The guy needed to go back out on loan to either a top championship club, bottom Prem club, play again, 40 games. And then by that point, Harry Kane did it, loan into the team and happen. There are so many scenarios where it happens. I very rarely does someone go, right, you don't play any minutes, sit on the bench the whole time, prove a point, and on your company turn into a world beater. That doesn't happen. Saliba, right? On loan. Was it 3 loans?
2 or 3 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, he did it like 2, 3. It was even 3 or 4 loans. No one kind of went, yeah, no, he needs to come in, drop their centre backs, bring him in. It doesn't work like that. You have to give these time. If we're going to go down that route of these players, you need to just let them go. Archie Gray needs to play every minute in midfield next season. Berghvall needs to play every minute as a number 8 or a number 10 next season. They have to play continuously, otherwise they're going to be in the same position the whole time.
Oh, that's fair.
What are you saying?
I was just going to say, look, this guy, he's only 21. I think he needs a loan at somewhere in the Premier League, maybe a team that's just been promoted, because
Coventry do well.
I think if we sell him, he is a proper number 9. But he needs to prove he can do it in the Premier League. And I think if we sell him, it'd be a bit premature. I think this guy might have something. A lot of people compare him to Harry Kane at that age. He scored, I think, 11 goals for Oxford when they couldn't even sort of create chances. So I think we've got to be careful. And he's one I would hold on to. I'd rather sell Berghvall than sell Lancashire.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think Berghvall had his chance.
That's bold. I know.
Apparently, I'm seeing this on Twitter. Apparently, Tottenham have had a bid. I think someone's just saying it. Gary Bull's saying it as well. Just seeing that maybe there's some story here that Tottenham might have had a bid accepted for Malik Fofana.
Ooh,
25 mil.
Maybe that means Savinho is not going to happen then.
I take him over Savinho all day long.
Me too.
30 million.
I don't know too much about him, so yeah, you guys have to tell me.
He's an absolute baller. He's very
my
nice.
fucking chairman.
Johan
my Vivian and Charlie.
My DOF. Johan Lange is doing bits.
The audacity on James. The
My
audacity.
fucking paintings. I knew
think,
they were
James,
worth it.
you'll have to get a Lange tattoo on you, mate.
My fucking chairman. I never saw fucking the Don bringing any players like this, did we? Can anyone tell me a player that the Don bought in that's as good as what we're finding now?
You're too late with that, James. Johnny is gone.
So can anyone explain that? Explain Malik Fofana as a player, because I don't know anything about him.
He's just an incredibly nippy winger, very fast, small, lightweight guy, unbelievable footwork. Great crosser.
Better than Savinho, then.
Much better.
Yeah. Well, is he?
He's 5'6".
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Sean's going to put a dampener on it again. Come on in, Sean. Flip flop.
Sean, can you do a comparison? Savinho against Fofana.
Get your pretty pictures out.
I probably could actually. So
we don't want him. We've got to tell. We don't need him.
We watched his highlight reels
on Fofana.
Danny, we watched Fofana's highlight reels, which I know are very misleading. But the
You're not
amount of
misleading, Kate. If
chances,
someone can play football, you can see it on a highlight
the
reel.
amount of
It's like-
chances he put on a plate for people who missed the chances was unbelievable. This
This
guy,
guy
I
can
like
play
this
football.
guy.
So that's
Yeah.
what we need
right,
someone
yeah.
like that then, someone who can create a lot of chances.
It'd be brilliant alongside Tonali. I can see it coming. Unlike what
Yeah.
Sean said.
So
Yeah,
Malik Fofana, you're fucking arsehole. Malik
It's all Gimbo's
Fofana,
fault.
right? His outperformance, there you go. His outperformances in areas such as he doesn't get dribble past too much. Deep completions, completed passes within 20 meters of the goal. So he's very much a kind of touchline winger that can pass. Passes inside the box.
98 percentile.
That is open play, final third passes played backwards. So he's not someone like that. What Mathys Tel does, he does it fewer. This is like an inverted metric, right? So like when you see 0.32, then people that have got like 96th or 95th percentile will do it more often than him. So when he gets to the byline in the final third, he's not someone that just hands it back. It's not shoehorn football with him. XG chain per possession, open play possession value per possession involved in. It's a small number, but it's 97th percentile. Listen, I have to go and do a little bit more detail on that one, but it's a very, very talented player.
How much are they saying? Did they say?
I think it's 26.2. I saw it earlier.
26.
Yeah.
See, I told you this is why we shouldn't buy Tonali. He's just taking all our budget.
Exactly. Exactly, James. Exactly. Well done. You're catching on, buddy. You're catching on.
If it wasn't Tonali, then, just hypothetical, if it wasn't for Tonali, who would you like to see come in instead of him? All of you guys.
If we're in that ballpark where you're paying 100 million quid, then it opens the conversation to other players, doesn't it? It opens up the conversation to the likes of Mateus Fernandes. It opens up the conversation to the likes of Adam Wharton. It opens up the conversation to that sort of ilk. And I think that that's not an unreasonable conversation to have. Now, James thinks that you should just latch onto the first person that says yes, because you never know what's around the corner. And that's a fair way of doing it if you always want to settle for whatever you're offered in life.
Not true. Not true. What James thinks?
It's fine. It's fine, James.
What James thinks is people like Sean have been complaining that we don't back the manager. And when we back the manager, it's the wrong thing to do. So what James thinks is back the manager, see what the manager can do. I want to see Tottenham back the manager. Then if he fails, I can go to that manager and go, you know what? He was given a fair crack. You ain't good enough. Yeah. We can't keep chopping and changing managers.
By the way, if Tottenham sign Sandro Tonali, I am... How many times have I said this tonight? I am more than happy. I am delighted. I will be jumping out, pumping
out. You can tell you're talking shit.
Flip-flop.
You lot are shameful. You're shameful. Take your top out of your ears, you donuts. Right, listen, I'm going to give the last word of the evening to my man Jimbo. He sits very patiently waiting for a chance to speak, which on this channel, James,
that's what he's like at home.
You must know, Jimbo, that you can't sit there and wait to be invited in, buddy.
Yeah, I'm all right. I enjoy listening.
What we say? I didn't get your opinion on Lancashire. Do you want to keep him or do you want to?
Yeah, no, I think I agree that he needs to go out on loan. To be honest, I've not seen loads of him. I've seen him when he was at Spurs, and we were using him a little bit. But yeah, put him out on loan. I mean, I thought he played well in the few games I watched him. But
you said Coventry, right? I heard you mention Coventry in the.
Yeah, I think someone like Coventry would do him the world of good to go to a team like that in the Premier League. But I'd love to see Fofana come in. I really rate him. Yeah, definitely.
Yes or no? Thumbs up for the rest of you guys, and smash the 1s and 0s in the chat. Malik Fofana. I don't know. I can't find the tweet, but I've seen people talking about a tweet. Malik Fofana. Would you take him above Savinho? 1 for Malik Fofana, 0 for someone else. And then on the panel there, Eugene, you're saying yes.
If it's over Savinho, all day. I mean, I want Diamande.
I thought you were all about proven players, though, mate.
Well, proven that they're actually good. Savinho hasn't done enough.
Proven at all. So.
No, I mean, 60 million for somebody who doesn't score goals and his footballing IQ is not great. Man City fans have been complaining about him for 2 seasons, and Holland has been complaining about him. So Tel is already there. We need somebody with more potential. Fofana, I'm not sure how he's going to stand up physically in the league. He's 5'6". He's a small guy.
Yeah, he is.
However, you know, if De Zerbi wants that profile, you know, somebody with speed, who's pacey, who can cross the ball, for 25 million, we could do worse.
Fair enough. Fair enough. James, yes or no?
I would go Savio still, to be honest. I think they're both wonderful. I really do. And I think it would be, I think Savinho would be more of like a squad working perfectly together. I think you'd have Kudus one side, him the other. And I think that would just leave so much space for the midfield and the defenders to play those passes through to Solanke or a striker. I want Ramos. That's what I said last season. I want Ramos. I think if you have a Savio and you have
Gonzalo Ramos story, yeah.
Fuck off! I told you last season when you told me you can fuck off. I think if you have Savio one side, Kudus the other side, they both every time want to beat their man. And what we saw with Kudus, right? Once he beat his man, second and third man come across. If you have two of those on either side, you're going to give Xavi acres and acres of space, and I think he's a good player. Maddison the same. If we get a Ramos or whoever, he's going to have space. It's going to give Tonali space, Gallagher space. They're all good. Even the centre-backs now can play those cut-edge passes, right? So I want my wingers now to just hug the wide line and beat their man after time. And I think Savinho's class at that, personally.
And you know what? I'm watching the chat, and some are saying that he's just dog shit. I don't know where they get that from. I don't think he's had the right chance at City. I think if he comes to Spurs and he was playing regular, I think that he'd be a proper player.
I think people forget as well, Jimbo, that at City, when he came in, he was playing as a right winger, and his position is a left wing. He's like an old school left winger. Like he wants to get to the byline, cut it back, or he wants to run into the box and he's very direct from the left hand side. But he played mostly,
60 million quid for the guy that hasn't proven it in the Premier League.
But the thing is, Sean, what I have
apparently it's not with you fucking donuts, but generally speaking, okay to challenge price points.
I still want Savio. I think him on the left hand side, and the fact that he's also can play as a right winger is good. And I think
didn't Fofana have an ACL as well this season?
Yeah,
I think he did.
It wasn't an ACL. It was some ankle.
It was an ankle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
By the way, somebody mentioned
ACL though.
I would kill for Kang Lee in watching him play for South Korea, and he's on the bench with PSG. Just put in a cheeky bid. He's such a dynamic player. I would love for him to.
Him and Savio would be like the dream team.
No.
All right, guys. Listen, we're gonna. Oh shit! I haven't done this fucking 7 super chats. You bastards kept in. Sorry. Let me just get through the rest of this super chats quickly. Big up to Daniel Field, super sticker. Choo choo to you, Daniel. Really appreciate you, mate. Thank you so much for your generosity. Always here, always supporting, buddy. I love you, man. Thank you very much indeed. AV's coming back saying Vlahovic. Not for me. Not at the price. Well, he's not going to cost you any money, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg in salary. I don't know what the situation is there. If it's less than 200 grand a week, then I still don't think he's proven himself to be worth it, to be honest.
Would you give him like, say 200 grand a week and then just say to him £1 million every 10 goals? Something along those lines. Wasn't that what Harry Kane was on? Even though his wages were really low, it was a massive goal contribution.
Non-penalty goals.
Yeah, I don't care if they're penalties, mate. They've all got to be scored.
True. Yeah, I just think the guy's a bit of a I think he's just a bit of a bloodsucker, like a bit of a vampire.
He's a 1 season wonder or 2 season wonder.
Not that. He is a good player. He's a good player, and he would probably fit the Premier League. But I just think he hasn't earned that sort of cash, to be honest. And the fact that apparently he wants more than what he was earning before, and what he was earning before was extortionate. Not for me. Kulu's elusive. Big up to you. He says, would signing Tonali convince Ramos or Vlahovic? It feels like that's what's going on right now. The fact that Pedro Porro has just committed to 6 more years, the fact that you've got Senesi, and the fact that you've got Van Hekke, it just feels like there's been a lot of promises.
The thing is, Sean, if we sign someone like Tonali, right, then it definitely looks like that the promises that they've made about why these players are committing and why they were signing these players is because something has been said to them about what they're trying to build. And the fact that you've seen the rumors that apparently Tonali is keen on a move to Spurs, which blows anyone's mind why he would want to choose Spurs. But the
Why?
fact
Why?
that,
Hang on, Danny. Hang on. Why would you say that? He's at Newcastle.
No, but Jimbo, no.
Newcastle.
I'm talking about the players, the teams that he's linked with: Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Champions League teams, right?
Probably getting caked up.
But the fact that if De Zerbi or anyone who's spoken to him about Tottenham's project, their plan of what they see themselves doing, right, and where they see him at in the plan, and he's keen on a move because of it, then there must be something going on, because we've never ever gone for a player who's at the top of their game and they still haven't even hit their peak years yet. Like, and to pay that, if we do sign him, because it's all well and good if it's just rumors, right, and it never happens. But if they were to pull it off, like, I think there's something different going on at Spurs.
Maybe
you got to look,
guys. I'm so sorry, Jimbo. I've got to round off, mate. I've just realised what the time is. And I've got to be.
See, I try and talk, I get cut off.
Let the man talk, Sean.
Oh, I'd love to, but I've got to finish off in 30 seconds. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Chad's come back in saying we have to get to the level where our current starters and our bench players, 100%. You level up on the top end and you push them all down a level. Big up to you, Chad. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate you. Always very generous, buddy. North London guy 1 putting a super sticker. Big up to you. Choo to you, North London guy 1. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. And Moondoggy Dog, my longest ever serving member. I think he's been around since very first days of Spurs Talk Show. He says, good evening to you, Moondog. Appreciate you so much, my man. Appreciate you very much. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, please do get over to, I haven't got an OnlyFans girl booked. I wish. That BBC documentary last night was fantastic. Please do get over to Kate and Jimbo. There's the channel name. Give them a smash to subscribe.
Yeah, we're doing a show tomorrow analysing why Sean hates Tonali so much. So join us at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Sean,
don't subscribe to that channel, then. Leave that one alone. Go subscribe somewhere else. Kate and Jimbo, there's the link, guys. Please do. Just scroll up five or six people in the chat there, and you can get them. Please do get them over to the next threshold. Massive thank you to you, James, wearing your little your American jersey with your little tan face. Big up to Eugenie. Big up to you, Danny Kiriakou. Danny, you look really skinny as well, mate. I feel like I'm the only fat bastard in the room.
Well, we didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. I'm picking up my pizza from the pizza shop before it goes at 11 o'clock.
That's why he's going.
Listen, appreciate you all. Kate, thank you so much. Jimbo, thank you so much. The rest of you, and to Johnny as well, who was on earlier. Love you all. Rabbit Hole will be back as soon as I've got some time. I'm busy trying to build the Spurs Hub. Please get over to Spurs Hub as well. And you've got 24 hours, guys, to get your jackets, your Jeremy Jacquets and your shirts and all that stuff. Sean 15. OK Jersey. Massive thank you to all. Love you all. See you tomorrow for some more absolute bombers. And we're back later on. Cheers, guys. Bye.